Johnny Test is an American-Canadian animated series about a mischievous 11-year-old boy who lives with his genius 13-year-old twin sisters. Throughout the show, the twin sisters, Mary and Susan, conduct scientific experiments on Johnny, causing chaos. A pilot was produced for the series before Warner Brothers picked it up and claimed it as a series. Like most lost pilots, there's very little information known about it. The pilot is said to feature all the main characters from the series, but with some notable name changes. In the pilot, Johnny's pet dog Dookie was actually called Poochie at the time. Additionally, Bling Bling Boy was referred to as the Golden Boy in the pilot. A user on TV.com by the name of Derek Lamb confirmed that the pilot was actually created using Flash. The pilot was said to have an American voice cast as opposed to the actual series, which has a mainly Canadian cast. The pilot was eventually redone into the first episode of the series that we all know. Only one voice actor, James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Johnny Test, returned from the pilot to the series. As of right now, no actual footage of the pilot has been released, but a promo and a few screenshots have appeared. The Flintstones is an animated sitcom produced by Hanna-Barbera that aired in the 60s. The show is regarded as iconic and obtained a well-deserved spot as an animated classic. Due to the popularity the show brought, when it ended, attempts to reboot the series were thrown around. In early 2011, Seth MacFarlane, creator of Family Guy, announced that he was planning on rebooting the series. With this announcement in 2011, Seth hoped to have the first episode released during 2013. The goal of the reboot was to try and incorporate the 1960s feel of the Flintstones, while also having the stories focus more on current events, in addition to having slightly mature humor. In early April 2012, a draft for one of the scripts was sent to the head of Fox at the time, Kevin Reilly, for his acceptance. Reilly was quoted saying that he liked it, but didn't love it. Reilly then gave Seth an ultimatum to either reboot the series or can the project to work on other projects. Seth was working on various projects at the time and ended up canning the Flintstones reboot. The team that worked on the reboot was unfortunately laid off with a promise from Seth that they may be able to work on American Dad one day. Seth MacFarlane later mentioned his difficulties with the show in a Reddit Ask Me Anything. When asked if the reboot was ever coming back, he was quoted saying, "As of now, probably not. Honestly, I couldn't figure out a way to find enough differentiation between a modern-day Fred Flintstone and Peter Griffin." Eventually in 2019, some concept art colorized by Andy Clark would appear across the internet, showing us what backdrops and character designs would look like. Yet with all this said, no animation of the show has been seen by the public as of now. Jimmy Two Shoes was an animated Canadian TV series that ran from 2009 to 2011. The series followed a happy 14-year-old boy named Jimmy who lived in Miseryville. Miseryville was a place filled with despair and obviously misery. Back in 2006, a 6-minute long pilot was created. What this early pilot contained was very different when compared to the final version we have now. The pilot revealed the show would have been more mature, even going so far as to have the setting be literally hell instead of Miseryville. A character in the show by the name of Heinous was the devil, and this is supported by the fact that he went by Lucifer in the pilot. Another character in the show, Heloise, would have been a deranged serial killer who tortured Jimmy but also had a crush on him. Edward Kay, the co-creator, and Phil Postma, the original concept designer, both mentioned that the show was meant to be a Teletoon exclusive production for the show's tween demographic at the time. With this in mind, the original idea of incorporating mature and health-themed elements had to be thrown out the window, especially since US broadcasters for Disney XD had just picked up the show and were looking for a more conventional market. On top of all this, producers forced the creators to change the characters' designs as they just didn't like them. The actual plot of this pilot begins with Jimmy helping an old lady across the street. The old lady drops her wallet and Jimmy goes to pick it up. As he's picking it up, a bus comes and runs him over, and he later dies in the hospital from his injuries. He then gets sent to hell for mistakenly being labeled as a thief. Unexpectedly, Jimmy actually enjoys hell and sees it as a wonderful place. The existence of the test pilot is well known and confirmed, but no actual animation footage has been shown to the public. The creator and co-creator were not allowed to have copies of it since investors of the show feared the pilot leaking. Eagle Sam was a Japanese anime based on Sam the Olympic Eagle, who was the mascot for the Los Angeles 1984 Summer Olympics. The anime ran for 51 episodes from April 7th, 1983 to March 29th, 1984 on the Tokyo Broadcasting System, or TBS. Weirdly enough, the actual plot of the show is centered around a private investigator from Los Angeles named Sam, who one day is mysteriously transformed into the Olympic Eagle mascot of the same name. He fights crime alongside his sidekick, Canary Karina, and chases down his nemesis, a skateboard-riding cockroach. He sports a magical hat that has whatever he needs in battle, and he uses magical Olympic rings to also help him. Anyway, during the time of the anime production, Sam was really big in Japan for whatever reason, but eventually fell into obscurity after the Olympics ended. As of now, only 3 episodes have appeared online with no official release being seen. The main theory at the moment is that the legal issues with the International Olympic Committee are compromising the release from ever happening, making all the other episodes lost. When Rayman 2: The Great Escape was being developed, a short animated film was created with the character Rayman under the name Rayman's Training. Even though the film itself is lost, clips from the training film went on to be used in promotional material and advertisements for Rayman games. From what people gathered from the clips, the training video had Rayman do all kinds of wacky things, such as flying through the sky and falling through some sort of portal. Cut to 2021, speculations of the clips having a related source to each other rose. An eventual lead to the source of these clips was found on the website of the French National Audiovisual Institute. Upon visiting the page, people found numerous details about the short, including that the short was actually shown at the Image Film Festival in 1998. Not a lot of information came out of this though, as there was no description of the short provided, and the website lacked a video file available to the public. Looking at the Imagine 98 DVD would be useless as the short wasn't on there either. Any attempts to contact the French National Audiovisual Institute were futile. Digging deeper, the title of the short film was located in the portfolio of an audio production studio by the name of Farah Vox. The page that had this portfolio didn't give any new information on the short film, but instead gave us a screenshot confirming that the source of the clips used in the commercials and promotional videos were located there. Fast forwarding to March 12, 2022, the short film would actually be found on the files of a PS2 prototype of Beyond Good and Evil. The short is of very low quality and has no audio and only contains Rayman training in a forest with a punching bag character. The short film is a minute shorter than what was labeled on the INA website, and it is speculated that a version with the extra scenes seen in the promotional video still lurks somewhere around the internet. But until then, Rayman training is partially lost. Batman and the New Robin was an unproduced animated TV series that was pitched in the late 1980s. The show would have had Bruce Wayne, obviously, and also featured Jason Todd as the New Robin. Parts of the would-be TV series have popped up on the internet, but it's unknown how much work actually went into the project before it was scrapped. Later in 2016, a document containing information about the project was shared by RJ Carter on Critical Blast, which is a news website for all things pop culture. Upon looking at the document, a script for the pilot was found alongside outlines for 4 unique episodes. Michael Straczynski, who presented the show in the late 1980s as a series bible for another Nelvana-produced Batman series, also created character profiles for series-specific roles and other Batman media that were found in this document. FYI, a series bible is just a one-page pitch that breaks down all the elements of your show or series. Basically just a blueprint for your show or series. Anyway, in 2012, Canadian artist Michael Thorner shared 3 pieces of concept art of Batman and Robin to his Flickr account that you can see on screen now. He also mentioned that Nelvana lost the rights to Batman and instead focused all their efforts on a Beetlejuice series, which would later go on to premiere on ABC in September of 1989. Later in the same year, popular DC animator Bruce Timm stated that Bob Camp worked on the project, who, if you don't know, was the creator of Ren and Stimpy. In 2015, we got a promotional image for the series from the then DC Comics co-publisher Dan DiDio, who mentioned that the series was pitched when he was working for ABC's Children Programming Department. The promotional poster you can see on screen showcased Batman, Robin, Joker, the Riddler, and the Penguin. On August 4th, 2012, Robot and Monster premiered. Robot and Monster was a short Nicktoon created by Dave Pressler, Joshua Sternin, and J.R. Vintelma. Fast forward to January 2013, the show was removed from Nick's schedule, leaving 4 episodes unaired. One of the 4 episodes, Dirty Money and What JD Wants, actually went on to be aired on Nicktoons on December 26, 2013, followed by the series finale, Monster Hit, which aired on July 19, 2014, ultimately concluding the series. But the other 2 unaired episodes remain hidden. Although back in late 2012, a series DVD was released with the inclusion of the 2 unaired episodes, and it's still unknown whether or not these episodes will actually see a public broadcast. During production, Nick felt strongly about giving the show a second season including 14 episodes, but that was later canned and then abandoned. Only 2 episodes from Season 2 are confirmed to exist. Of this scrap Season 2, there was a lost, unaired intro that would have a different song and would feature a montage of shots from the show. This was confirmed by Dave Pressler through email, and he would go on to show the intro on Instagram Live, but unfortunately the live would glitch and some footage was lost. Other footage of the intro exists, but not with audio and its original full length. There was also an early version of the original pilot, The Dark Knight, which would contain some script variation but would follow the same story as the original pilot. One of the found 2 episodes does not have footage but is confirmed to exist, although incomplete. It was titled Blimp Pirates and gave backstory on why Robot's father was absent throughout the whole series. And it's found out that Robot's father was captured by blimp pirates, and the episode has Robot try to reunite with his father. Like I said, this episode is incomplete and production progress is unknown. Finally, the other confirmed episode of Season 2 was called Best in Marf, and the episode had Robot and Monster try to get Marf to be a purebred in order to compete in the Prince of Scamtown's purebred pet competition. An animatic was found online with voice acting, and it's what you've been seeing this whole time. It's very unlikely they got any farther into production due to how quick the show got canned. In 2009, Disney commissioned an animated pilot for Disney XD based on the live-action Power Rangers series. There's not much information known about this. A Facebook page mentioned the existence of this pilot and also provided a trailer for a canceled animated Power Rangers movie. Another mention of this unconfirmed animated series was on a Power Rangers forum by the name Ranger Board. Ron Wasserman, who created the music for the first 6 Power Rangers seasons, actually spoke on the forum and mentioned an animated series coming in 2007. Further saying he had a friend that worked on the promotional material for it. Afterwards, he didn't speak about it, and the last actual mention of this animated series was from Brandon Ragnar on DeviantArt. Brandon claimed to have been hired by Disney and commissioned to work on the animated series for Power Rangers, and even provided a piece of his concept art for his redesign of the iconic team. That was the last mention of the Power Rangers animated series. In the late 2000s though, animation studio Nerds Corp Entertainment got a crew of 3 animators who created a promotional short to help sell the idea of Power Rangers animated series that Disney ultimately ended up turning down. Gotham High was a concept for an animated TV show featuring teenage Bruce Wayne in high school with his future rogues and allies. The creator, Jeffrey Thomas, drew a picture of young Joker and Harley, and DC actually liked it enough to where they ordered an entire series based on the concept that was Gotham High. The series ended up being cancelled for unknown reasons, and it's said that the elements of the TV show transformed into the web series DC Superhero Girls, as it also contains young versions of characters attending high school. Another possible way these elements were used was in the 2020 DC Comics graphic novel written by Melissa de la Cruz, where Bruce Wayne, Catwoman, the Joker were caught in a love triangle as teenagers in high school. Other than that, the actual animated series remains lost. 64 Zoo Lane was an animated children's TV series. The series was created by Anne Vrombout and originally ran from 1999 to 2003, and later saw a reboot which ran from 2010 to 2013. The series revolved around a 7-year-old girl named Lucy who lived next to a zoo. Each night, a different animal from the zoo would visit her and tell her a story. An early pilot was actually created in 1994 after Anne, the series creator, won prize money for a film she made prior by the name of Little Wolf. He used his prize money and a loan from European Union organization Media 2, which basically helped films and TV in Europe compete in an international market. Development for the pilot started in 1993 and was finished a year later, where it was shown to a cartoon form. Even though the pilot was a huge success, it took 5 years to get proper funding to become a full series, and 2 years later for the production company to develop the first season. Other than this promotional image, no footage nor any other kind of material is available. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you'd want to see more.